Already got her. Hey, how about that, Cowboys?
Jerry Jones, Shedeur Sanders, Kevin Stefanski. 3 names you don't usually hear woven into the same sentence, but today, they're at the center of one of the wildest storms in the NFL. And it all kicked off the moment Jerry Jones opened his mouth. Because with Jerry, it's never business as usual. It's drama, it's theater, it's a spectacle designed to shake the entire league. And this time, he lit the fuse by letting Shedeur Sanders' name drift into Cowboys conversations. Shedeur, the Browns' prized rookie, the quarterback Cleveland thought would carry them into a new era, suddenly tied to the most unpredictable owner in sports history. Now ask yourself, did Jerry Jones really just slip up? Or was this the first act of another one of his carefully staged plots? Because Jerry doesn't do accidents. Jerry scripts chaos. And the second Shedeur's name came out of his mouth, it felt less like rumor and more like the opening shot of a war. Think about the timing. Cleveland fans were finally daring to dream again. After decades of heartbreak, they had Shedeur, calm, poised, firing absolute lasers on the field. For once, the Browns had someone who could be the guy. And then Jerry Jones decides to enter the chat. This isn't just a trade rumor. This is Jerry Jones playing billionaire chess, with Shedeur Sanders as the crown jewel. If you're Kevin Stefanski, finally stabilizing your franchise, finally seeing hope in your locker room, how do you react to this? How do you coach your team while Jerry Jones quietly sharpens the knife? This is classic Jerry. He doesn't whisper, he doesn't scheme in private. He drops breadcrumbs where the cameras can see them. He's the showrunner of the Cowboys soap opera, always pulling strings in public. And when he dangles Shedeur Sanders' name, that's not scouting. That's bait. That's Jerry stirring the pot to see who bites. And you know who's in the background of all this? Deion Sanders. Primetime. Cowboys legend. Jerry's old partner in glory. Don't think for a second Jerry hasn't thought about the nostalgia factor. The headlines, the ratings, the merchandise sales of putting Deion's son in a Cowboys uniform. This isn't about football. This is Jerry chasing a narrative, a sequel to the 90s glory days with Deion. This isn't team building. This is Jerry Jones writing the script for his final act. And what's he willing to pay for it? Everything. Multiple first-rounders. Core players. Salary cap magic tricks so insane accountants would faint. Jerry doesn't blink. If it means Shedeur Sanders wearing a star on his helmet, he'll tear down his roster brick by brick. Now ask yourself, does Jerry really believe Shedeur is the missing piece? Or does Jerry simply want to make the loudest, flashiest move of his career before the clock runs out?
Where's Shedeur?
Sam went to get it.
One of them is coming in right now.
Very easy to be the top pick in the draft.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you.
Yeah, she's great.
Meanwhile, Cleveland is unraveling behind the curtain. Half the executives are clinging to Shedeur like lifeboats on a sinking ship, saying, build around him. Protect him. Don't make the same mistakes. The other half? They're daydreaming about dollar signs, jersey sales, licensing deals, sponsorships, forgetting that hype doesn't win football games. But this is the Browns. When has this franchise ever resisted dysfunction? And when Jerry waves his cowboy hat full of cash, some in that front office start salivating. And there's Shedeur, a rookie. Just a kid who wants to ball, who wants to earn his respect on the field, who wants to carve his own lane. Instead, he's being dragged into billionaire drama he never asked for. This is Jerry's strength. He doesn't need to act today. He doesn't need to act tomorrow. He plays the long game. He plants seeds. He waits. One bad season, one awkward contract standoff, one strained headline, and then he swoops in, wallet wide open, ready to snatch what he's been eyeing all along. Jerry doesn't just see Shedeur as a quarterback. He sees him as the bridge to immortality. But if Shedeur makes that move, the cost will be brutal. Dallas isn't nurturing. Dallas is ruthless. That media spotlight will burn him alive at the first interception. And Jerry, the same Jerry who clashed with Jimmy Johnson because he couldn't share credit, really thinks he can control Deion Sanders' son? Please. Now here's the question for you. Would Shedeur Sanders thrive under the brightest lights in Dallas? Or would Jerry's obsession crush him before his prime even began? This is no longer football. This is a billion-dollar soap opera with shoulder pads. Because that's what's happening here. Jerry is maneuvering. Deion is lurking. The Browns are fracturing. Shedeur is trapped in the spotlight. And the NFL? They hate this. The league craves order, balance, clean transactions. But Jerry? He thrives in chaos. He's not just trying to win games. He's trying to etch his name into history. And Shedeur Sanders is the tool he thinks will carve it. So here we are, Jerry Jones, the aging king, desperate for one more empire-defining move. Shedeur Sanders, the young prince with the weight of expectation on his shoulders. Cleveland, the unstable kingdom, torn between loyalty and greed. And if Jerry gets his way, the NFL's balance of power shifts forever. So what's the play? Should Shedeur Sanders cement his legacy in Cleveland, or risk being swallowed whole by Jerry Jones' empire in Dallas? Now here's where everything intensifies. Because Jerry Jones doesn't just start rumors, he escalates them. He doesn't just poke the bear, he feeds it, then watches the circus unfold. And that's exactly what's happening now. The Browns thought they had peace. They thought Shedeur Sanders was theirs to develop, to build around, to finally silence decades of pain. But Jerry's shadow stretches long, and the moment his name became tied to Shedeur, everything shifted. Cleveland is no longer talking about playbooks and progress, they're talking about survival. Kevin Stefanski? He's caught in the middle of a war he can't control. Picture him, pacing the sideline, headset glued to his ears, trying to draw up plays while whispers swirl about his quarterback's future. He didn't sign up for this soap opera. He signed up to coach football. But now he's in a boardroom drama where billionaires call the shots. Stefanski isn't coaching games anymore. He's fighting to keep his team alive. And what about Shedeur himself? He's not just any rookie. He's the son of Deion Sanders. He carries a name that shakes stadiums, a brand that prints money, and a spotlight brighter than anything Cleveland has seen since LeBron's first run. But here's the thing, he's also human. A young quarterback still adjusting to the speed of the NFL, still finding his rhythm, still trying to earn the respect of veterans. Now imagine doing all of that while hearing Jerry Jones has your name written on his empire blueprint. Imagine throwing a pass while the entire league debates whether you'll be wearing a Cowboys star next season. That's pressure no rookie should have to carry. To Jerry, Shedeur isn't a quarterback, he's an investment portfolio. And that's dangerous. Because when you're an investment, people don't protect you, they exploit you. Jerry doesn't see Shedeur as just a kid with potential. He sees a brand. He sees dollar signs. He sees ratings. And if history tells us anything, Jerry will risk everything to turn that vision into reality. But this isn't just Jerry versus Cleveland. This is Jerry versus Deion. Primetime isn't some passive dad in the stands. He's Shedeur's coach, his mentor, his guardian, his brand manager. He built this path brick by brick, and he's not letting anyone hijack it. And Jerry knows that, which is why this feels less like a negotiation and more like a chess match between two giants. On one side, Jerry Jones, the billionaire empire builder, the master of spectacle, desperate for one last defining move. On the other, Deion Sanders, the ultimate showman turned coach, the protective father, the legend who already knows Jerry's tricks because he lived them in the 90s. This isn't just about Shedeur. This is about legacy, about power, about two men who refuse to back down. Jerry wants Deion's son. Deion wants Jerry to remember who taught him how to shine. And somewhere in the middle, Shedeur just wants to play football. Here's the fallout that's already spreading. Insiders whisper about tampering. Executives leak stories of late-night meetings and mysterious dinners. Agents float packages of draft picks that sound more like fantasy football trades than reality. And the NFL? They're nervous. They don't want Jerry rewriting the unwritten rules of how the league operates. Because if he gets away with this, what's next? Billionaires circling every rookie before their rookie deals are even dry? The league thrives on stability. Jerry thrives on chaos. And right now, chaos is winning. Jerry doesn't care about optics. He doesn't care about fines. He doesn't care about precedent. He cares about one thing: making a splash so big, it drowns out every other storyline in the NFL. He's 81 years old. He knows his time is limited. He's chasing one last mountain to climb. And to him, Shedeur Sanders is that mountain. This isn't about football. This is about Jerry Jones chasing immortality. So where does that leave us? Cleveland fans pacing their living rooms, terrified they're about to lose the one quarterback who finally gave them hope. Kevin Stefanski stuck between loyalty and chaos, unsure if he can keep his locker room from cracking. Shedeur Sanders trapped in the middle of a billion-dollar tug-of-war. And Jerry Jones? Sitting in his luxury suite, smiling. Because whether this happens tomorrow, next year, or 3 years from now, he knows he's already planted the idea. He's already forced Cleveland to look over their shoulder. He's already made the NFL sweat. That's Jerry's real power. He doesn't just sign players. He destabilizes entire franchises. He makes the league dance to his tune. And now, Shedeur Sanders is the headline act of his latest performance. So let's put this straight to you, the fans. Should Shedeur Sanders fight through the dysfunction in Cleveland, build his legacy brick by brick, and prove that the Browns can finally have a true franchise quarterback? Or should he embrace the spectacle, take Jerry's spotlight, and risk it all in Dallas for the chance to be part of a Cowboys dynasty? Because one choice gives him stability, the other gives him immortality or disaster. And make no mistake, whatever happens here won't just affect the Browns or the Cowboys. It'll ripple across the entire NFL. Because this isn't just another trade rumor. This is the kind of move that could define a generation. This isn't gossip anymore. This is the next great NFL power struggle. So buckle up, because Jerry Jones isn't done. Deion Sanders isn't backing down. And Shedeur Sanders? He's the prize that could flip the league upside down. The only question is, who's going to win this battle? If you think Shedeur should stay loyal to Cleveland, drop a dog pound emoji in the comments. If you think he should take Jerry's spotlight and become the face of the Cowboys, throw a star emoji down there. I want to see where you stand. And of course, if you love these raw, unfiltered breakdowns, the stories the NFL tries to sweep under the rug but we bring to you front and center, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and keep rocking with us here on Whistle Storm. Because this story isn't finished. Not by a long shot. And right now, Jerry Jones has Shedeur Sanders in his sights. Like and subscribe.